Did you know Johnny Depp once stopped in the middle of a busy red carpet moment just to say nice things about a fan's handmade bracelet? Yeah. In a world where so many famous people rush past crowds and camera flashes as fast as they can, he actually stopped. He turned around, he smiled, and he made that fan feel like the most important person there. And honestly, that tiny moment says so much about who he really is, because people don't just look up to Johnny Depp, they feel connected to him. There's a warmth in him that people pick up right away. Like he isn't just a Hollywood star, he's someone who sees people, who feels deeply, who remembers what it means to be human. Hey there, if you've been following Johnny lately, especially all the talk about his new chapter, his return to peace, his creative comeback, and the fact that he's choosing quieter spaces instead of loud Hollywood drama. Trust me, you're not alone. Fans all around the world are watching this change with curiosity and love, and today I want to share one simple and beautiful moment that reminds us why Johnny is still such a loved person. Not just as an actor, but as a human being. A moment that truly melts hearts, because it shows his soul, not just his fame. Make sure you stay with me till the end, because there's a tiny detail in this moment that most people completely missed. And when you hear it, you'll smile. It tells you exactly why Johnny Depp is still, after many years, one of the most truly humble people in the world of entertainment. So picture this. There's a crowd waiting behind metal barriers, lights everywhere, photographers shouting security moving fast. That kind of high-energy chaos that comes with movie premieres and celebrity appearances. Now imagine one fan, quiet, shy, not pushing forward, not screaming like some people do, just gently holding out a little bracelet she made herself. She's not sure if you'll ever see it. It's that hopeful moment where you want to believe your hero might notice you, but you're almost ready for the chance that they won't. Most celebrities, honestly, they wave politely, maybe smile and keep walking. They're busy, they're tired, they've done this 1,000 times. But not Johnny. Something about that tiny move catches his eye. He actually stops walking, he turns toward her, he smiles. Not a fake celebrity smile, but that soft, humble, grateful kind of smile he gives, and he walks right toward her. Imagine being that fan. Your heart would basically jump into your throat. Your hands would shake. Your brain would be trying to understand the fact that the Johnny Depp, is walking toward you. And then he reaches out gently, holding the bracelet like it's something delicate, like it matters, and he looks right at her and says, "You made this. That's beautiful. Thank you, darling." You can almost feel the air change, the crowd softens, people around stop shouting and just watch. Because moments like that aren't loud, they're quiet and powerful. They remind you why kindness hits harder than any spotlight ever could. And the fan, frozen, speechless, eyes filling up, hands shaking, not because of the fame, but because her small action was respected. Because he saw her, really saw her. And that's what makes this moment special. It wasn't the gift, it wasn't the bracelet. It was the attention, the being there, the way he honored a human being in front of him in a world where celebrity culture can feel far away and cold. Johnny made that moment warm. He didn't treat her like a fan. He treated her like a person who put time, hard work, and emotion into something handmade. And here's the beautiful part. It's not a one-time thing. This is who he is. You see him stop for older fans, for kids, for fans with disabilities, for struggling artists who bring him drawings or letters or music. He has this ability to make someone feel like they're the only one in the room, even when he's surrounded by hundreds. And that's rare, really rare. Now, a lot of people might wonder, is this just for the cameras? Is it just PR? Is it just celebrity politeness? But here's what's interesting. People who have worked behind the scenes with him for many years, makeup artists, camera crew members, sound engineers, drivers, even security teams, they all say the same thing. He has always been like this. Photographers, who usually have no reason to talk up any celebrity, say he's one of the most thoughtful humans they've ever worked around. And even at the lowest point of his life, when headlines were harsh, when the internet was loud, when millions of people were questioning him, he still stayed soft with the people who supported him. He still smiled for fans, still signed posters, still hugged people who traveled thousands of miles just to see him for 10 seconds. A journalist once described him perfectly. Actors act, Johnny listens. That line isn't just poetic, it's true in a way you can feel. It's almost like listening is part of his DNA. He listens, he pays attention. He doesn't rush through moments, he invites them in, lets them breathe, lets them matter. He reacts like a real human being, not a media-trained machine. And because of that, tiny moments like the bracelet exchange don't just pass by, they become unforgettable. They stick to people's hearts. They turn into stories people tell years later. They become reminders that even at the highest level of fame, kindness never stops being powerful. And then comes the part that makes this story even sweeter. The bracelet, that small handmade gift, wasn't just taken politely and put away. It wasn't treated like just another fan item among hundreds, because if you look closely at videos taken throughout the evening at different camera angles, in different lighting, in different press photos, you'll notice something magical. Johnny didn't put that bracelet in his pocket. He didn't hand it off to a helper. He didn't forget about it the moment he walked away. He wore it right there on his wrist. During interviews, during photos, during moments when the world was watching, think about that. Imagine you give something to someone you deeply look up to, someone who has inspired you, someone whose work has touched your heart, someone whose kindness helped you through a dark time, or whose characters gave you comfort when life felt heavy. And instead of giving you a quick thank you and moving on, they carry your gift with pride. They wear it like it belongs there, like it fits into their world as naturally as any fancy accessory or famous piece of jewelry they own. Imagine you are that fan. Imagine you are standing there with shaking hands and a racing heartbeat, hoping to be seen for just a second. You make something with love. You hold it up, and suddenly your favorite person in the world is standing right in front of you, smiling, looking directly into your eyes, thanking you personally for it. Then later, maybe that night, maybe the next morning, you open your phone, scroll through videos or photos, and suddenly your heart stops. There it is, that bracelet on his wrist, the same wrist holding microphones in interviews, waving at crowds, signing signatures, shaking hands with journalists. And you sit there, staring at the screen, probably in complete disbelief at first. Your breath catches, your eyes water. You replay the video again and again, zooming in, checking angles, making sure it's real. Because in that moment, you realize something. He didn't just accept your gift, he valued it. He appreciated it. He honored it. He made space for it. In a world where time is short, attention is rare and realness is hard to find. Do you know what that does to a fan's heart? It makes them feel seen. It makes them feel like their love and support mattered, not just in a vague fan community sense, not just as a number in a crowd, but individually, personally, directly. And that kind of emotion, it stays forever. People forget autographs, they forget selfies, but they never forget being valued. That fan probably didn't sleep that night. She probably cried from happiness. She probably called her friends and family, shaking with excitement, voice shaking as she tried to explain what happened, hands flying to cover her face, heart racing all over again. And every time she sees that clip, she'll feel it all again. That warmth, that disbelief, that overwhelming thankfulness. She will always carry that moment with her. Because the truth is, not every celebrity moment is remembered. Not every autograph changes someone's life. But moments like this, moments filled with pure human connection, they become memories that turn into stories, that turn into something deeper. Hope, inspiration, a renewed belief that real kindness still exists in powerful places. What makes this even more beautiful is what it shows about Johnny's heart. Wearing that bracelet wasn't a headline move. He didn't go on camera and say, "Look what a fan gave me." He didn't make a show out of it. He just quietly wore it with pride, with thankfulness, with honesty. That's who he is. And when someone in his position, after many years in the spotlight, after surviving storms, after dealing with people who tried to tear him down, still chooses softness, still chooses humility, still chooses kindness, that's rare, that's special. That's a soul that fame couldn't corrupt, a heart that fame couldn't harden. So many celebrities build walls, walls of ego, walls of security, walls of distance, walls of look at me but don't get close to me. Johnny builds bridges instead. He walks slower so someone nervous can catch up. He leans in so he can hear the quiet voices. He pauses so the forgotten fan gets their moment too. He chooses to be present in ways that most people at his level never do. And maybe part of that comes from everything he's lived through. Maybe when you felt deep pain, deep misunderstanding, and deep betrayal, you learn to value real kindness even more. Maybe when life humbles you, you see people differently. You see effort differently. You see hearts differently. There's something powerful about a person who has known chaos, but still chooses gentleness. A person who has seen the worst in people, yet continues to believe in the best. A person who has every reason to build emotional armor, yet still walks around with open hands and an open heart. And that bracelet, simple, handmade, carried with love, represents something bigger than jewelry. It represents a connection, an exchange of thankfulness, a moment where fame stepped aside and humanity stepped forward. If the fan who gave that bracelet ever speaks publicly about it, imagine what she'll say. Imagine her voice shaking as she remembers holding it out. Imagine her describing how he smiled, how his eyes softened, how he thanked her, how he treated her like someone who mattered. Imagine her telling the world what it felt like to see her bracelet on his wrist. She'll probably say something like, "It wasn't just that he wore it, it was the way he made me feel." Because in the end, that's what Johnny does. He makes people feel. He makes them feel noticed. He makes them feel appreciated. He makes them feel worth slowing down for. And that is a gift very few people can give. Whether he realizes it or not, moments like this aren't small. They ripple outward. They inspire. They bring back faith. They remind fans that their love isn't one-sided. They remind the world that kindness still beats fame. Johnny Depp may be a global star, a Hollywood icon, a legendary artist, but in moments like that, he becomes something even greater, a reminder that the world is better when we take time to see each other. And maybe that's the real reason people adore him, not just because he can act, not just because he can transform into amazing characters, but because deep down, underneath it all, he still remembers how to be human. He still remembers that every fan is a person with a heart. He still remembers that the smallest action can be the biggest moment in someone's life. And that bracelet, it wasn't just worn on his wrist, it was carried in his heart. And now, in the hearts of thousands who saw it, even if they didn't know the whole story until now. Sometimes, the most beautiful moments aren't scripted. They're real. They're human. They're quiet. And they stay with us forever. Just like this one. That's not fame. That's heart. That's thankfulness. That's humanity. And for people watching his journey now, the quieter one, the gentler one. This moment fits perfectly. Johnny is not chasing noise. He's not chasing headlines. He's choosing peace. He's choosing real connection. Rumor is we might be seeing more natural, candid Johnny moments soon. Some quiet talk show appearances, some fan moments, maybe even intimate performances or surprise events. He's living softer, but he's not disappearing. And honestly, that might be his most beautiful chapter yet. So, let me ask you something. Do you think moments like these prove that true humility still exists in Hollywood? Do you think Johnny is simply built differently? Like someone who never lost touch with his humanity, even when the world watched him? Tell me what you feel. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. And if this story warmed your heart even just a little, tap that like button. It really helps more amazing people like you find these stories. And hey, if you enjoy seeing the human real-life side of famous faces, make sure to subscribe. We tell stories that remind us that behind all the cameras and lights, these are people with hearts, emotions, struggles, and moments of pure kindness. And before you go, don't miss the next video where we dive deeper into Johnny's new chapter, why peace matters more to him than fame now, and how he's rebuilding life on his own quiet terms. Trust me, it's powerful.